Welcome to Flashpoint Friday, a weekly series where I select one game at random from Flashpoint's archives and give it a try. And maybe, just maybe, the game might actually be good. Hello everyone, welcome back to Flashpoint Friday, and this week we have a game request from viewer Agent 851, so thank you Agent 851 for the request this week, and the game in question is Bush Shootout, starring President Bush and Condoleezza Rice. Now obviously this is a politically themed game here, and as a general rule, I try not to bring up politics, at least on this channel. So I will refrain as best I can from making too many comments while playing this game, but I actually remember playing this game back in the day, actually. I believe this game released back in, I don't know, maybe 2002 or 3. It was shortly after the September 11th attacks and the start of the War on Terror and such, so that's obviously what this game is going to be themed around. And it is giving us an age advisory with this. And it says it's hosted by Miniclip. I seem to remember playing this on freearcade.com myself, but it seems like Miniclip was the primary hoster of this. So we'll see just how bad the presumably violence is for this, if it's giving us an age warning. So I am over 14, obviously, so let's just play. Hey, and there he is, the old Shrub Dub himself, in all of his flash glory with this. And we have, looks like 3 different levels. I can't remember how far I got when I played this back in the day. I don't think I got very far, but how about let's crank the difficulty up to medium. Visuals seem fine, and we could go how to play. So yeah, it's giving us an indicator of what all the HUD readouts mean. Yeah, and so we're shooting up terrorists with this. Once the level has been completed, the score is then calculated by subtracting damage points made to the surroundings and adding the difficulty bonus, which is selected for the main menu before game starts. Okay, so you want to refrain from collateral damage whenever possible. Green crosshairs mean you can shoot. Red crosshairs mean you are either hit or hiding behind an obstacle. Okay. There is automatic reload, but you can use the R key to reload as well. Okay, well that's good to know. Yep, and shooting at an innocent will automatically deduct points from your current score, so keep a good lookout. Yep, okay, seems pretty straightforward. And yeah, I do know what kind of game this is going in since I played it already, but... So here's the premise, and it's admittedly a pretty goofy premise, if I'm being honest, to where I think that even regardless of your political affiliation...
Hey, hold it right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Regardless of your political affiliation, you're gonna think this is pretty silly. So terrorists, and basically they're attacking the White House. How they got that far is beyond me, but yeah. But fortunately, Bush has an assault rifle in his desk just for such emergencies, apparently. So yeah, and this is a point and click shooting game here, and you automatically take cover behind the desk if the shooting gets too hot. And whenever you run out of bullets, Bush will automatically reload. Like the game said, I just pressed R there. You can manually reload. And yeah, I mean, given the time frame that this game was released in, the production value is pretty good, I gotta say. Alright, so okay, yeah, so it looks like you can take cover manually, but looks like I completed the level. Level code for level 2 is Rice. Yeah, okay, that seems pretty appropriate. So now we're going to Cross Hall. Is that Colin Powell that they were dragging off there? That's a sign of the times too for this. That's Colin Powell would eventually resign from the Bush administration, but This is definitely a post 9/11 power fantasy game here. Just mowing down mass terrorists en masse. But yeah, want to refrain from shooting the Secret Service agents, obviously. Only got 14 terrorists left to shoot. I think since there's only 3 levels, I might just see if I can maybe beat the game. We'll see, since these levels are fairly short. And I do have to admit, once again, regardless of your political affiliation, I think you'll find this entertaining, nonetheless. One terrorist left. There we go. George, sweetie, don't worry, I'll cover you while you move across the hall. So we got Condoleezza Rice. Looks like dual-wielding Uzis here. Yep. Things are getting more dangerous here. Gotta wait for an opening, I think. Almost out of health. Okay. Yeah, the problem is, though, is that the terrorists will keep spawning in, so... Gotta wait for a pause, if there is one. Nope, nope. Sorry, Condi. This takes us back to Cross Hall. Okay, well, maybe I won't beat it in one sitting then, because that last level is pretty difficult. Let's try one more time. Because, yeah, this is a pretty entertaining experience. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely a good idea to gun down the terrorists as soon as they show up to prevent multiple ones from moving in and keeping you pinned, them all laying down, covering fire. There we go. Okay. Let's reload. Almost there, only got 7 terrorists left. Nice of them to roll into the same spot to die over and over. There we go. Now they're mixing things up a bit. There's body persistence too, which is kind of impressive for a game of this age. So, yep. All right, Condi, let's see what you can do. Just gonna reload. Reload again. They're pretty good caricatures, too, of Bush and Rice here. Okay, I'm doing a much better job of staying on top of things this time around. Oop. Forced me to duck down. That's not good. Still, though, we got a lot of health, and there's only 9 terrorists left, so I'm feeling much better about my prospects this time around. It's the ones way off to the side that really mess you up, because you gotta... It's the amount of time it takes to take them out. It means there's a decent chance that they're gonna get some rounds off, forcing you to take cover. Okay. We're good, I think. Yep, so level complete. Okay, so that was just all level 2. Okay. Alright, well, maybe I will call it here, because, hey, if you want to play this game for yourself, I don't want to necessarily spoil the ending for you. So, yeah, that is Bush Shootout, and like I mentioned before, I feel like regardless of how you feel politically about the Bush administration and the War on Terror and kind of that era in not-so-distant history, this is, taken on its own, a pretty entertaining shootout game, and the controls are pretty intuitive, and the action is fast-paced, and it requires a quick trigger finger, but it also penalizes you for collateral damage, so you have to be careful where you aim and shoot. And yeah, it's a pretty fun experience all around, and it provides kind of an interesting snapshot too into the post 9/11 early war on terror mindset, maybe, from back in those days. So thanks again to Agent 851 for requesting this title, and thank you for tuning in to this episode of Flashpoint Friday. And take care, everyone.